A little girl ran into the Hells Angels clubhouse, screaming for help. But when she said, "Please save my dog," even Reaper froze. What the Angels found in that backyard broke every hardened biker's heart. The girl with the red as his son was sinking behind the hills of Cedar Ridge when the Hells Angels clubhouse door burst open. Reaper, Tank, Ghost, and Brick were sitting around the table, polishing tools, checking maps for a ride, and teasing each other the usual way, when a tiny voice cracked through the air. "Please, please help me." Everyone turned. A little girl, maybe 8 years old, dusty hair, red shoes, trembling hands, stood at the door. Her eyes were swollen from crying, her breath shaking, her knees covered in dirt, as if she had run a long way. Reaper stood first, a giant biker with a heart softer than he allowed anyone to see. He slowly knelt to her level. "Hey, sweetheart, what happened?" The girl swallowed hard. Her lips quivered. Then she whispered the words that froze every biker in the room. "They took my dog. They're hurting him." I heard him scream. Tank stood up so fast his chair nearly flew. Ghost put down his wrench. Brick cracked his knuckles. Reaper gently placed a massive hand on her shoulder. "What's your name, Angel?" "Emily," she whispered. "What happened to your dog, Emily?" She wiped her cheeks. "He's a small brown dog. They say he's useless. They tied him up in the yard, and they—" Her voice collapsed. She couldn't continue. That Reaper's jaw tightened. Ghost whispered, "Who the hell ties up a dog and hurts it?" Emily looked up, her eyes drowning in fear. "Please save him. You're the only ones who can." The clubhouse went silent. Not even a sound of a Harley engine outside. Reaper looked at his brothers. "This isn't discussion," he said. "We ride." Tank grabbed his cut. Ghost zipped up his boots. Brick slammed the locker shut. Emily wiped her tears, confused. "Why, you'll help?" she asked. Reaper smiled gently. "Sweetheart, we don't leave kids or animals in danger. Ever." The Angels stepped outside. The engines roared like thunder. Emily climbed into Reaper's bike, tiny arms hugging his vest. The Hells Angels rolled out of the clubhouse like a storm of justice, and none of them had any idea just how heartbreaking the next hour would be. The yard of Emily guided them through a narrow road outside Cedar Ridge, toward a rundown property surrounded by broken fences. The place looked abandoned, but not in the quiet, peaceful way that I in the rotten, dangerous way. Reaper parked first. Tank and Ghost flanked the house from both sides. Brick cracked open the rusted gate. "Emily, stay with me," Reaper whispered. The girl nodded silently. Ghost listened. Tank scanned the windows. Brick checked the shed. Then, somewhere in the back, they heard a whimper so soft, so weak, it didn't even sound like a dog at first. Emily gasped and pointed. "H.E.'s back there." Reaper signaled with his fingers. The Angels moved slow, quiet, ready as they rounded the corner. Ghost's face froze. Tank whispered, "What the hell?" Reaper's heart dropped. There, in the middle of the filthy yard, was a tiny brown dog tied to a pole with barbed wire, his fur matted with dirt, his paws bleeding, his breathing shallow. Beside him, broken sticks, an empty beer bottle, and muddy footprints. It was clear someone had been beating him. Emily covered her mouth, tears spilling. Reaper felt something inside him burn. Ghost whispered, "Reaper, he's in bad shape." Emily collapsed to her knees. "Buddy, I'm here. I'm here," she cried softly. The dog lifted his head weakly. His tail tried to wag just once, but gave up. Reaper didn't move. For a man known for fearlessness, this moment cut deeper than any blade. Tank's hands shook with anger. Brick muttered, "Whoever did this is going to answer." Reaper knelt, and in the softest voice he had ever used, he whispered, "Hey, little guy, we're taking you home." He gently, carefully, cut the barbed wire free. The dog whimpered when lifted, but nuzzled into Reaper's chest, trusting him without question. Emily sobbed into Ghost's arm. Reaper stood, holding the dog like a newborn. "Emily," he said softly, "we've got him." But then a door slammed. Everyone turned. .3 men stepped out of the house, drunk, tall. .1 holding a baseball bat. The tallest one smirked. "That's our dog," he spat. Reaper didn't blink. "No, he belongs to her." The man smirked. "He ain't worth anything. Just a piece of—" Reaper stepped forward. Ghost growled. Tank's fist clenched so tight his knuckles went white. Brick whispered. Say that again. I dare you. The man raised a bat. You don't get to take what's mine. Emily screamed. Reaper handed the fragile dog to Ghost. Then he turned toward the man and unleashed a glare so cold, even the air froze. You're going to regret the day you chose to hurt a child's best friend. The Brotherhood's FU while the man swung first, but Reaper moved like lightning. Catching the bat midair, he twisted, snapping in half. The man stumbled back. Tank was already there, grabbing him by the collar and slamming him into the fence. Ghost blocked the second guy, who tried to grab Emily. Brick grabbed the third by his shirt and lifted him off the ground like a toy. Reaper leaned close to the first man. You tied a dog with barbed wire, he growled. The man stuttered. It's just a dog. Reaper slammed his fist into the wall next to the man's head, splintering the wood. Just a dog, he repeated. His voice trembled. Not with fear, with barely contained rage. Little girls cry themselves to sleep over just a dog. Families break over just a dog. Hearts heal because of just a dog. And you use him as your punching bag. The man's knees shook. Ghost held Emily safely behind him. Tank whispered, Reaper, give me 10 seconds alone with him. Reaper glared. No, not now. Brick shoved the third man onto the ground. You're done, Brick growled. Reaper stepped back. We're taking the dog. If any of you come near Emily again... He cracked what remained of the bat in his hands. We won't be this gentle. Tank leaned in. And trust me, this was gentle. The men backed away, shaking, pale, silent. Reaper lifted the dog again, careful as a father. Ghost lifted Emily into his arms so she could pet the dog's ear. He's safe now. Ghost whispered. Emily kissed the dog's head. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Reaper nodded. No kid should ever beg for their dog's life. Not in our town. Not ever. The angels walked out, protecting Emily on all sides like a fortress. No one dared follow. The long night at the clubhouse, they returned to the clubhouse. Ghost grabbed towels. Tank brought warm water. Brick fetched an emergency kit. Emily didn't let go of the dog's paw. Reaper knelt beside her. He's going to be okay, he said softly. You did the right thing coming to us. Emily sniffled. I didn't know where else to go. Reaper smiled faintly. You came to the right place. Brick cleaned the dog's wounds. Ghost wrapped the tiny paws. Tank held a heat lamp. Emily whispered. His name is Peanut. The dog's tail wagged. Just once but alive. Ghost grinned. Peanut's a fighter. Reaper gently scratched the dog's ear. You're safe now, Peanut. You're with family. Emily leaned her head on Reaper's arm. Thank you for saving him. Reaper looked at her. This tiny girl who had walked miles alone to save her best friend. You're braver than all of us, he whispered. Emily smiled weakly at the angel strike back, final part. Reaper wasn't done. He turned to Ghost. Find out who those men are. Tank crossed his arms. And tomorrow morning, we deal with them the right way. Brick cracked his knuckles. Angels don't let monsters run free. Reaper nodded. Tonight, Emily and Peanut stay here. The brothers lifted blankets, pillows, food, and set up a warm corner for Emily and Peanut. Emily looked around, confused. I can stay here. Reaper nodded. This is your home tonight. Tank added. And tomorrow, those men won't bother you ever again. Emily hugged Peanut. Thank you. Hell's angels are heroes. Reaper froze. Tank coughed. Ghost smiled. Brick muttered, Kid, you're going to make him cry. Reaper rubbed his eyes. You just get some rest, sweetheart. Emily curled up with her dog between her arms. Peanut licked her cheek. The angels covered them with a soft blanket. And Reaper stood guard all night, arms crossed, watching the door, making sure no harm came near. Next morning, Emily woke up to the smell of pancakes. Ghost had cooked. Tank had made her hot chocolate. Brick had fixed Peanut's collar. Reaper walked over with a small tag. He knelt and placed it gently around the dog's neck. A tiny metal plate, engraved, Peanut, protected by the Hell's Angels. Emily gasped. It's beautiful, Reaper smiled softly. So nobody ever hurts him again. Emily hugged him tightly. I'll never forget you. Reaper's tough voice cracked for the first time. You don't need to. You're family now. Ghost added, You and Peanut come here any time. Tank tapped her shoulder. And if anyone ever bothers you again, Brick finished, we'll be there before they can blink. Emily and Peanut left with a ride from Ghost, smiling, safe, protected. And the angels? They rode that afternoon to make sure the men from last night never threatened another innocent soul again. Justice was delivered, peace restored. Emily and Peanut lived safe, happy, and forever protected by the Brotherhood, because sometimes the loudest angels save the smallest souls. If you love the Hells Angels, share this video. Like, comment, and subscribe to Bikers Hype. Let's hit 1,000 subscribers together. Comment your name below so we can include you in a future story.